Gitini tuhun, itini tuhun. Gehalum hinasoni zahululo. Gitini tuhun, itini tuhun. Gehalum hinasoni zahululo. Gehalum hinason. Gehalum hinasoni zahululo. Tahine kogzan taiti. Half a day. Thank you. My name is Julian Aquon, and I'm from the island of Guam, in the area of the Pacific, in the northwestern area of the Pacific. But before I get into a little bit about the work that I do, I really want to say thank you to the Petra Foundation. It's such a wonderful addition of family to my own family who came with me tonight, my mom, Annabelle, and my partner, Ron, and my niece, Raina. Thank you all for being here, too. I'd just like to start off by saying I'm so honored to be here with this amazing group of luminous, radiant people, and I'm very, very grateful. Thank you so much. I also am a lawyer. I also do a little bit of lawyer bashing jokes, but I won't do any now. But I'm kidding. But it's funny, I am a lawyer, but I also, like the last speaker, came into law school, stumbled upon it, only because when you're on the ground in a movement, you quickly realize that the law does give you a certain powerful skill set that really is useful on the ground in our movements. So the island of Guam is in the Western Pacific Island. I won't give you too much history, but I know I have about 4 minutes or 3 minutes. But I wanted to say that my work in the area of human rights principally concerns the right of self-determination in the context of colonialism. Guam remains listed by the United Nations as one of 16 non-self-governing territories. That is the UN terminology for current colonies. So 16 remain on the UN list of colonies, but that is sort of, I've been a self-determination / decolonization activist and indigenous rights activist for quite some time, for a number of years now. But since 2005, I would say, 2006, my work, as well as the work of my community and fellow activists on Guam, has largely metastasized into something else, and that is demilitarization agenda. So now what we have in Guam, despite remaining a colony, is also, so basically what you have, if you were to take a photograph of it, is coming on 500 years of uninterrupted colonization being compacted by an aggressive militarization of a 30-mile-long island with no parallel in recent history. Guam right now, since 2006, the United States Department of Defense has made an agreement, the US actually, not the DOD, but the US State Department. There's been an agreement since 2006 in place to move some 7,000 US Marines from Okinawa to Japan to Guam. And Guam being a colony, we've had to struggle with trying to mitigate harms that which we can't even fully appreciate. And I won't go into all of them. I'll just do it in 1 minute, because I know I probably have 2 minutes now. Guam is a 30-mile-long island, 8 miles wide at the widest and 4 miles wide at the narrowest. So it's quite small, 212 square miles. So we're talking about a really small area. And the total population of Guam is 175,000 people. And what's slated for, I mean, part and parcel of the military buildup is an injection of a 20 to 40 cent population increase in a 5 to 7 year window. In addition, there is plans to build a massive firing range complex in an ancient Chamoru indigenous, which I am, indigenous Chamoru village, called Paget, which means to counsel, to watch, to provide advice, guidance. That's the name of this ancient village, which is also a mass cemetery. And there's a plan to build a massive firing range complex in this area, which we've protested via lawsuits as well as larger political movements of community organizing. And the last third prong of the buildup on Guam now is another portentous development to destroy some 40 football fields of coral reef to make room for a nuclear aircraft carrier coming into the island. So that's just a snapshot of the sheer enormity of the military enterprise now largely underway in Guam. However, 2 days ago, I think I have 1 minute left. 2 days ago, we filed a lawsuit based on the National Environmental Policy Act. I am a lawyer, but weirdly enough, I was the plaintiff in the case, not the lawyer. But we filed a major case and we just won. You could call it a victory. It wasn't actually an order issued by the judge, but the US Department of Defense realized, because it was losing the lawsuit, that its own alternatives analysis under federal environmental laws was wildly deficient. So it went back and we've stalled the buildup for 2 years. So that's just some of the work. Thank you so much. Thank you. I just want to end on one note. Because the law is just one thing. And we in Guam are fortunate enough to be united in our conviction that legal process is just simply one tool in our toolkit. I mean, and what really is at issue underneath the buildup is it's not just the coral reef or the firing range, everything is, it's an assault on a worldview and a preciously singular ethos, a preciously singular way of seeing, a worldview that's been alive and well and has been nurtured on the breast of a particular people for 4,000 years. We have been on the planet this long for a reason, because we know how, we have a, you could say, good version of what it means to be human on the planet. And it's successful for us. So that's what we are trying to protect. And the final point I would like to mention is related to this point about imagination. I think it's become abundantly clear, and now we are in a gripping, arresting national moment where we see that the imagination of global predatory capitalism, the imagination that has brought the planet here, cannot come up with an alternative. So it should be, at least it's worth considering, that indigenous peoples the world over should be offered maximal legal protection, because perhaps we do have a different kind of imagination that has some answers for the future. And it is worth, at least if we're going to use legal process, trying to protect people with that imagination. Thank you so much.